Yeah, and this feels like a solid draft. Of course, we say that about a lot of these teams at this point in the process. We'll find out in the coming months and years. But, hey, a lot of good things to celebrate for these teams and these teams' fans. Let's move to the Giants. And again, a team that had a really good draft, coming off a great season where they didn't do a whole bunch of free agency last year, and they're still able to make the progress they made with Daniel Jones and Brian Daboll. Rick, best pick for you in your mind for the New York Giants?
My guy that I've been crowing about all season long, John Michael Schmitz, yeah. And his background and what he did at the University of Minnesota has that wrestling background. He's big, he's athletic. He's another guy that plays with a lot of grit and toughness, extremely smart. I had some issues with him a little early when we were down during the season on his ability in pass protection, and if he was athletic enough, there's no question about what he's going to do in the run game. And he can fit in any scheme, zone, outside zone, gap scheme, but when this dude locks onto you, he's going to take you to the ground, and you see it here on a lot of these highlights. So, but what got me so excited about him is when he was in the one-on-one drills down at the Senior Bowl, he did a phenomenal job, and I thought he was one of the top offensive linemen out of that All-Star game.
You came out of that Senior Bowl with a lot of players you liked that ended up on the Giants. I'm going to ask our running back here, Emory, about Eric Gray, a guy that you also like, Rick, out of Oklahoma. What gets your attention about Eric Gray, who ended up going on day 3 but feels like he can contribute right away?
It was the fluidity, and when you think about how Brian Daboll runs that offense, he wants to get a lot of backs involved, and when you have the ability to be a quick starter, you don't need volume, you're able to have success right out of the gate, you're going to play a lot in that offense. And I wanted to ask Rick, when you see John Michael Schmitz and you know there's a significant need at center, how tempted are you to take that guy in the first round as opposed to trying to wait and get him later in the draft?
Yeah, well, not where the Giants were picking, so I knew. But you have to have a feel for where all these guys are going to go in the draft and what teams ahead of you need that. But they were very patient. I thought Joe Shine did an excellent job holding, got him. So then that's all part of the draft, too, and part of a draft when you're a general manager. But Eric Gray was one of the funnest running backs that I watched. Not only is he quick, he's elusive. Maybe the biggest knock on him is his open field speed and the finish, long home runs. He's a great singles, doubles hitter. He's extremely violent when he runs. He's going to run through contact, gets a lot of yards after contact, and catch the ball out of the backfield. Everything you want in a running back, and I think he's going to be a major contributor to the New York Giants. With him and Saquon Barkley in the backfield, that's going to be pretty special.
It's funny to think that we were watching Eric Gray and John Michael Schmitz at the Senior Bowl. It feels like it was like 2 weeks ago. It was back in late January, early February. This process is over draft-wise,